Hello everyone, and welcome back. My name is Mr. Hall, and today we are going to look at text features in nonfiction. Before I talk about text features, do you know what nonfiction is? It's okay if you don't. Nonfiction means that it is true. It's based in facts. It's not a story. It's text that is based in facts. Today, we are going to look at text features in nonfiction. And we are going to read a story or a book about elephants. There are many different text features that I would like to talk about. The first one is on the cover of the book. It is actually called the title. The title tells us what the entire book is going to be about. In this case, our book is going to be about elephants. There's another text feature that's located on the cover of the book, and it's also shown in a lot of different places throughout the book, and that is called real looking pictures or photographs. Can you see the photographs on the cover of the book? You can see that those photographs were taken with the camera, and it is an actual picture of elephants. The next thing that I would like to discuss with you is the table of contents. Many nonfiction books have what's called a table of contents in them. The table of contents tells you exactly what is in each part of the book. Additionally, it tells you the pages that it is located on. Can you see the table of contents that's displayed in the picture? In chapter 1, which starts off on page 6, it talks about thundering across the plains. Moving on to chapter 2, which is on page 10, we see that the title of that chapter is called Striving to Survive. And then there are several other chapters, but the last one that I'll talk about is chapter 3, which is on page 21, and it talks about life in the herd. So we can go to each one of those pages to see what that particular chapter is going to be about. Let's start off with chapter 1, Thundering Across the Plains. We know that particular chapter starts on page 6. At the very top, in big, bold letters, is the title of the chapter. And then underneath, you can see the text. I'll read a little bit of the text. It says, "A light breeze blows through the grasses of an African savanna. Suddenly, the silence is broken by loud, distant trumpeting. The ground shakes and trees sway. The noises grow louder as a herd of elephants thunder toward a nearby watering hole for a drink and a bath. Elephants are best known for their enormous size. In fact, the African elephant is the largest land animal on Earth. African elephants reach heights of about 8 to 10 feet on average. They are also incredibly heavy. The largest elephant on record weighed about 24,000 pounds. This is more than 100 times the weight of an average adult man." Did you notice that in our reading there were several facts that were listed? Additionally, there were some words that were in bold letters that are in red. Do you know what those words are? It's okay if you don't. Those are words that are called vocabulary words, or words that the reader may not know what they mean. The cool thing about nonfiction, though, is nonfiction allows us to determine what these words mean by looking at the glossary. The glossary, which I'll show you now, is found in the back of the book. So we'll turn to the back of the book, and in our section, it's called Words to Know. And let's look up the word savanna, because I'm not quite sure what a savanna is. So in the glossary, as you can see, all of the words are alphabetized in order, meaning in A, B, C order. All the A words go first, all the Z words go last. And let's look up the word savanna. I think it's right here. It says a savanna, and it even tells us how to pronounce it. A flat, grassy plain with few or no trees. So it's a grassy area with little to no trees that are there. And we know that this is where African elephants are. The other word on here that's in red that we did not know, or that I don't know, is the word herd. So going back to the glossary, let's figure out what the word herd means. It says herd, a group of animals that stays together or moves together. So it's kind of like a group of animals that stay together and move together. Kind of like a family in a sense, right? That was another text feature, the glossary, as well as the vocabulary words. Something else that's really, really important on this page is the picture that's located at the bottom of the text. The picture is really important because it comes with a caption. A caption tells us more specifically what the picture is going to be about. In addition to that, there's also labels. Labels on pictures tell us what is there. So in this picture, you see that there's a man next to the elephant, or behind the elephant rather, and it says adult male 6 feet. So that's labeling what that is in the picture. On the other side, it says adult elephant 10.5 feet. Again, that is another label that tells us what is in that picture. And I think what the writer was trying to do in this picture is compare the size of a male to the size of an adult elephant. The last thing that I want to point your attention to is the very bottom. That is the caption in the picture. It says, elephant herds are a common sight in many parts of the African savanna. So that simply means that on the African savanna, you'll see many different elephant herds. Those were some of the text features that were listed on the first page in chapter 1. As we progress through, we see another picture, and this is a photograph of an elephant. The next thing that I want to talk about is a heading. Headings are typically found at the top of the page, and headings will tell us what the particular text that we are reading is going to be about, that particular section. So I'll read this heading to you. It's called Not Quite the Same. Let's read a little bit about what not quite the same means for the reader. There are 3 different species of elephants. The African savanna elephant and the African forest elephant are found in different parts of Africa. These 2 species are very closely related. Until the early 2000s, most scientists organized them together as a single species. Forest elephants are slightly smaller than their savanna relatives and have slimmer tusks. They also live in different environments. Forest elephants are found mainly in wooded rainforest areas, while savanna elephants roam Africa's grasslands. Hopefully, from this particular section, you were able to see that there are 2 different kinds of elephants, and that up until like the 2000s, many of the elephants were categorized together, but now they're categorized separately. Additionally, here you can see that there are some words that are in red and are in bold. Those are words that, again, that the writer doesn't think the reader knows. So they clarify them by putting them in the glossary and defining what they mean. The next thing that I would like to talk about is a map. Hopefully you can see from the picture that this is a habitat map. So it shows you where the most elephants are found across the world. As you can see, elephants don't really inhabit North America or South America according to this map. We find elephants in Central and Southern Africa, as well as over in the southern parts of Asia. Elephants are really found there. So a map is also a text feature. Another really important text feature is called the index. The index is located in the back of the book and is typically the very last page in a nonfiction book. The index tells us what topics are explored in the book. So if we look at this index, we know that if I wanted to learn about captivity or elephants being held, that we can look on pages 34 and 35 to find that. Additionally, if we wanted to learn more about elephants' eyesight, we can go to page 13 to find out more about that. And then the very last thing in this nonfiction book is what's called a resource page. And resource pages allow you to explore more about the topic, because we know that one nonfiction book isn't going to tell us everything about elephants. So it gives us another list of books that we can use to further our research about elephants. Today, we looked at nonfiction text features. I encourage you to continue to read nonfiction and locate the text features that are there. Nonfiction text features help the reader better understand the story, and you are able to navigate through the story a little bit more quickly because you know what features are in the text. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you again soon.